Just getting a little audio. You won't be on camera. So my name's Bruce. Yeah, give it a good shove. It's heavy. um, Faith invited me just to support you all growth professionally. So I created a business on accident. It's one of my favorite stories. I was working for a promotion, and they said I didn't have enough leadership experience. And I said, okay, fine. Where do you get leadership experience? So I started leading the trainings daily. Um, I started doing onboarding for the new hires. And at one point, 100% of the hires I trained earned a President's Club in their first year of working. So I was doing something right. So I went for a promotion and said, hey, you don't have enough experience. So, okay, well, where do you get experience? So I started volunteering with an organization called Toastmasters. You heard of Toastmasters? Yeah. Toastmasters? Yeah. And they kept asking me to join. I'm like, I don't want to join. I'm just here to help. And I started working with people on their talks. And what I didn't realize was that the biggest part of a talk isn't even what you're going to say or the topic you choose, is being able to clearly communicate it and be able to confidently communicate it. So that's what I focus on. I was like, hey, we're going to help you take your idea and make it clear. We're going to help you present it confidently. So people started winning awards, and then it trickled into their work life. People started getting promoted. Somebody came up and got, hey, I got my dream job. And one day, I just finished the third session with someone, and they said, thank you so much. I wish I had more to give you. And they handed me $100. And that was the first time I got paid for something I did because I did it. Not like you pay the company, the company gives you a little piece. They call you your paycheck at the end of the end of the week, right? And that's when I became an entrepreneur. That moment right there is when I became an entrepreneur. I was like, oh, I've been doing this for free and people will pay me for it. That's fantastic. And it's been up ever since. And so I created a business called New Skills, New Yield. And if you type it in, it'll pop up. I'm really proud of the work we've done over the past going on 8 years now, where our mission is very simple. If we help you grow, I know everything around you grows. Whether it's your personal life, whether it's your career, nonprofit, or your business, or all of the above. And our motto is one new skill will change your life. That's it. So the good news is, and the bad news is the same. No one is born with any skills. No one's born good at talking. No one's born good at the piano. No one's born sales, skydiving, intro. At some point, we had to learn those skills. Now, I will recognize, talent is some people learn things more easily than others. Maybe you have someone like my uncle. He found a bass guitar at a garage sale, and from the Monday he got it, and he's sitting there on the couch doing this, to the next Sunday when I saw him at church, he was playing in the bands in church. I was like, oh, how long you been in the band? He's like, today. I was like, did you know how to play the bass guitar? He's like, well, no, I'm more of a flute guy. He was just good with music. He was just good. I'm not good with music. I could practice for 1,000 hours and I would still be bad. So, what I want to talk about today is not changing who you are, right? But helping you to be a better version of who you are. But in order to do that effectively, I need your participation. I cannot force you to do it. I cannot do it for you. I can do it with you. So, will you participate in your own success? Absolutely. Wonderful. Winston, will you participate in your own success? Wonderful. Scarlett, will you participate in your own success? Faith, what about you? You gonna lead by example? Yeah. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So when I started teaching and training, I had zero technology. And that's actually served me pretty well because the Wi-Fi could go down, the battery could die, the TV doesn't work. Oh, hold on, pause. Tosh, will you participate in your own success? We get a yes and a comment. If you want to turn your camera on real quick and wave, I want to make sure we're here to help you. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, everybody's on board. 100% participation. I love it. What I've learned over the years is I can't teach anyone anything. It's a very humbling revelation. I can only facilitate their learning. I can help you get there a little faster, a little smoother. So that's the goal. So as I came up, I didn't have notes, I didn't have slides, I didn't have PowerPoint presentations. And that worked really well because I could go anywhere, anytime we've got a workshop ready. And to make it really fun, I used to teach kids. Now listen, you work with kids. They unforgiving. You know what I'm talking about. You know I'm right. Am I right? Am I right? And so I've gotten a lot better because of that. Now, my challenge today is I got to learn to use slides when I start charging people more. They expect a slide deck. That's not this conversation. So what that does mean, though, I need you all to take notes. So you've got notes. You taking notes on your laptop? That's fine. Tosh, you taking notes? Yeah, I want you to take notes on this. So it's only going to be about 30 minutes. I know there's a lot of things to do. We live in Atlanta. There's a lot of things we can do right now. I want you to take notes. You have you have your notebook too. You got your little digital notepad. Wonderful, wonderful. So the title for this workshop is Compelling Communication. Compelling communication. Someone want to volunteer? What does the word compelling mean to you? Not a trick question. That's one thing about me. I never ask trick questions. I either want you to share what you know or we're going to learn what you don't know so we can teach it to you. I have a synonym for it. Okay. When I think of the word compelling, I think of magnetic. That's good. That's a good synonym. Magnetic is a great synonym. The word compelling, a simple, very simple definition is to move to action. Move to action. That's a very simple definition. When we have compelling communication, that means we talk, write, or other in a way that gets people to take action. Yeah, all right. So if we do this successfully, you will have tools so that people will hear your ideas and want to work with you to implement them. That's a successful workshop, right? So we have our destination, we have what success looks like. How are we going to get there? We're going to use the 3C framework, okay? And I love this framework. It's changed so many times. If you go to YouTube, you might find a version of this. You're like, that's not what we talked about. But these 3Cs took me 8 years to come up with, okay? But you get them about 8 seconds. The first C is clear. The second C is concise. And the third is confident. Right? Clear, concise, and confident. If we do those 3 things, we're a step closer to compelling communication. Let me pause there. Any questions, comments, concerns?
That was clear. That was concise. And yes, that was confident.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jack. So here's something about me. So a couple things. I don't ask trick questions. I love alliterations, and rhymes are like a one underneath that one. And the third thing, which is becomes ironic, all my trainings are so simple, I almost never have any questions afterwards. They're like, no, I get it. But this is where you can show your gratitude, and this is where you can give yourself credit for being here. Because if you're just going to be here and you're just going to listen, you could have stayed home and watched Netflix or Paramount Plus, right? But for order for this to be useful, in order for it to be transformative, you've got to put it into practice. So my goal is to make this so simple you can use it today, right? And it can impact your life and business today. And it can make you money as soon as tomorrow. That's usually where I focus on in my trainings, is that personal professional development with an emphasis on revenue. Use it however works best for your life, but use it. Okay? All right. So write this down, make a note for clear. It is more important to be clear than it is to be clever. I used to think of these little catchphrases and plays on words. And Samuel Clemens, or Mark Twain, you might know the guy who wrote Tom Sawyer, he said, don't use a 25-cent word when a 5-cent word will do. And that's a really great practice. Clear is the most important everything you can control in creating compelling communication. Why do you think it's important? I'd like everyone to kind of give just one or two sentences, fine. Don't have to be a speech. Why do you think clear? Actually, let me ask it this way: how does being clear help you communicate more effectively? Sorry.
I think it helps to ensure that everyone understands what you're saying.
That's a perfect word. Understand. I love it. I love it. Winton, anything to add to that? Okay, good, good, good.
I'll say everyone can relate.
Ooh, relate. Okay, I like that one. That wasn't on my slide deck, but I like that one. Oh, I added to the slide deck that I don't have.
Focus. People can focus on what you're communicating versus trying to figure out. Get caught up in, well, what is he saying? And the message get lost. But people are like, oh, I got this. Let me take action.
Right.
Rather than be like, did he mean this? Did he mean that?
Exactly. So we've got understanding, we've got relatable, right? And then we have, hey, it's the opposite of confusion. That's good. Tasha, anything to add to that?
No.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Faith, anything that you want to add to that? Why or how is being clear useful to you in your communication?
When people see themselves clearly and what I'm communicating to them, I resonate with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then causes them to take action.
You're right back to being compelling. Wonderful. So let's make another note under clear. Easy to understand is easy to decide. That's why it's so much more effective. Hey, do you want something to eat? Versus, hey, do you want to grab tacos? You might not even be hungry, but if it's Tuesday, I can be convinced. Now it's compelling. Oh, you know what? I didn't, but now I do. This is where we talk about compelling communication. It's not about selling something. We can definitely use it there, but it's just every day. This is our lives. So now, if I ask you, hey, you want something to eat? Like, man, do I want something to eat? Am I hungry? Am I gonna have time to eat later? Is it too early? Is it too late? Do I have some money? There's too much confusion, to borrow Jack's word, right? I have to start processing and solving a quadratic equation to figure it out. But when we make it clear, here's clear direction. Tacos. You have my attention. Now, easy to understand becomes easy to decide. I might say no, right? I might say, hey, I'm fasting, but it's easy to decide. This is where we can get more people to agree with us. If we take the responsibility and the effort of interpreting, of explaining, and understanding, if we take that off their plate and we just make it clear the first time, they're much more likely to decide in our favor. That's how we create compelling communication. All right, clear? Wonderful. Now, concise. This took some revisions. This was the toughest part for me. Concise does not mean short. I got so many people that caught up in trying to use a few words that it stopped being clear. Now remember, the most important thing is to be clear. So if it takes 50 words or 5 words is irrelevant. We know it's concise if we use the fewest words to say the most. That's what concise means. It's the fewest words to say the most. So now I don't have a number for you. Hey, it's got to be 7 words or it's not concise. No. But if I say, did I explain this in the fewest words possible? That's down here. To get the most clarity, that's up here, that's priority. Yes or no? Because what happens is if it's too short, people say, wait, what do you mean? And you got to explain it some more. Then it's not clear. On the other end, if you talk too long, we've all been there, right? We're out networking. Maybe you're interviewing somebody. You ask them a question, and they give you this long, drawn out answer. and you don't forget what the question was, and you asked the question. That's not concise. And what's very interesting to me, the farther you'll go away from being concise, the less clear it is anyway. So there's a harmony that has to happen. There's some art to it. We're going to practice this. We're going to make this applicable to our lives and businesses. So 2 things on concise, right? Concise does not mean short. You got to separate that from the definition. A better synonym is efficient. Did I say the most in the fewest words? Did I say the most in the fewest words? That's how we want to look at concise. So our mantra for concise, easy to understand, is easy to repeat. Easy to understand is easy to repeat. When we do a great job of being clear and concise, people get it. And now they're like, oh, wait, I know somebody. And that's what's beautiful when I apply this to our sales training. Not everyone is going to buy from you. I will never, if anyone says, oh, 100% people you talk to are going to tell you yes, block them. Block them, sis. However, we want to get so good at compelling communication that even the wrong person gets it, and they can point you to, they can refer you to the right person. That's when we have compelling communication. Compelling communication is not about convincing anyone. I'm not in the convincing business. Compelling communication is about clarity. And that's where we want to get so good at expressing those ideas in a concise way that it becomes compelling. We'll pause right there. Questions, comments, concerns?
Actually, what you're saying is illustrating illustrate the both spectrum of something I went through with the vision of my business.
Okay.
So I woke up one day and realized, oh my God, I don't have a vision statement for my business.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at a workshop and I'm like, I got to create one. So I sat with the coach and he had me do something very short. I'm like, okay, but I didn't like it for a couple of years. Basically, it was we exist to support our clients. And I'm like,
it's kind of vague.
It's kind of vague, but it wasn't a showstopper.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved on. So then I got, just last year, I had a group of interns that was granted to me because to train them to do business, to learn about business, real life situation work, and so they like, yeah, we're gonna fix your vision. So they came up with something very long.
It went too far the other way. Okay.
Way too much.
Okay.
But then I narrowed it down. I'm like, okay, let me take what they have and make it
clear,
concise and efficient.
Wonderful.
So if you want, I'll share with you because I really haven't put it out there.
Okay.
So I'll just share with you.
But hold on. We have a section for that
Okay.
at the next section of the training, and I'd love to hear it.
Right.
Wonderful. Okay, great.
No, but it when you said that, I'm like,
you see why this is so important?
Yeah.
Because we could have saved you a few years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what I do. This is what I do every day. All right. So we've got clear. We got concise. What's next? Confident. This is a little bit long definition. This is Bruce's definition. It's not going to be in the dictionary. So you might need a little space. It goes like this. Confidence is knowing who you are. It is accepting who you are not and believing you can grow. That's a lot of words. Confidence is knowing who you are, accepting who you are not, and believing you can grow. The very simplest explanation of this I can give you, we're all English speakers. I think you mentioned you know French. Do you know any other languages?
Yeah, I'm originally from Haiti, so I speak French and
Creole. Okay, wonderful. Any other ones?
A muddle of the other languages, yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
But could you learn another language?
Absolutely.
That's confidence. Confidence is not about being better than anyone. It's not even about being the best. It's about clarity of self. This is very, very, we get this concept, our communication will transform. We have to accept that we all started at zero. Our language skills, music skills, people skills, communicate, we had none of it. Now, we've all had different circumstances, so we may have been afforded different opportunities. That's not this conversation. My point is, if I can learn the language, then I can learn confidence. I can learn communication. I can learn leadership. I can learn the piano. I can learn French, Spanish, or Creole. I can learn fill in the blank because they're skills. One transformative concept I received, I want to share with you, is confidence is a skill. You can practice confidence. You can grow confidence. The first thing that you can do to grow your confidence is take inventory of who you are. And you can have some intangible things. I'm kind, I'm funny, I'm friendly, I'm quiet. And you can have some measurable things, right? I know how to use Excel. I know how to lead a meeting. Maybe you know programming language. And taking inventory and giving yourself credit for all the things you've spent time, all these skills you learned. Next, we have to give ourselves permission. Let's use the word grace for things we do not know. For example, if you needed a speaker or a trainer, I will put myself up against anyone in the world. Why? Why am I so confident now? I've been practicing for 30 years. It's heavy. Winton, would you get that for us, please? Come on in. Hey, my guy. Come on in, sit down. Winton, can you sit right here? Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, it's heavy. Give it a good push. Have a seat over here. So, do you have a sheet of paper, pen for our front here? Oh, I think I have one.
I have one of my notebook.
I've got some. Yep.
Yes. What is it? It's Donnie. Donnie? Yes. Donnie? Donnie. Oh, for Donnie? Yes. Good job. I like that.
We're talking about compelling communication. We're going over the 3 C's: it's clear, concise, and confident. We're talking about confidence. Someone read them the definition we have for confident.
Oh. What you've given so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just whatever. Number one, knowing who you are, accepting who you are not, and believe you can grow.
And believe you can grow. Wonderful.
Second one was to give ourselves grace for what we don't know.
Yes, that's so important. It doesn't make you any less than who you are if you don't know something. And this is tough because in this world, we're measured so much on our skills and experience. Like, you think about even a job, right? You put together a resume. What are your skills? What are your experience? And if you don't have one, then what do? They say, oh, no, thank you. We went with another applicant. That can really hit your confidence. And so this is where I developed this definition of confidence, is knowing who you are and having confidence in that, accepting who you are not, and realizing that's part of what makes me me, right? Every painting has to have at least 2 colors. You cannot paint a painting with one color. Then it's just a blank sheet. It has to have at least 2 colors. Even if those colors are so close together, maybe it's white and eggshell white. It has to be 2 colors. And so for confidence truly to be complete, we have to have a knowledge of who we are and acceptance of who we are not. That's what makes us whole. Now, the powerful part the part that really becomes transformative in our identity is we believe that we can grow. You don't have to be this version of yourself. Well, I'm just not good at mathematics. That's my favorite one. I love mathematics. And I didn't realize that people hated math until I got to university. Because I was taught math is fun. I was taught math was art. So guess what I believe? Math is fun, math is art. So we get to university, I'm like, oh man, math class. And people are in here literally like shivering, like, oh my God, I gotta pass this class, I ain't gonna graduate. She'd been in school 4 years and she put off this class for 4 years because she was so scared of math. What's the difference? Math is the same. It's a belief. It's our belief on ourselves. She believed she was bad at math and was always going to be bad at math. That was where she got stuck. Some people are bad at math, period. It's not criticism, not being mean. Give them a test, they fail it. However, the transformation becomes, I believe I can get good at math. Now, I'm not telling you all to go back to the university and get your mathematics degree. What I am saying is, if what you want is on the other side of learning something new, are you going to give yourself permission to learn it?